Thank you so much for joining us today as we celebrate the man of the hour, Dr. Drake Lamen. And I want to say a very special thank you to Katie Olson, Maureen Roush, Carol Quincy, Kiana Schrag, thank you. And it is my pleasure to introduce Kay Boland.
Hi, everyone.
I couldn't hear what she was saying.
She was saying, get up here. So Dr. Lamen, the man of the hour. It's really a privilege to be with you today. Just a couple of comments. When I walked through the door, Dr. Mazurek and Chris wanted me to go back to the very beginning of your residency and the whole group that you've been a part of for over so many different years. And then I sat with BJ and Dave, and they told me it was a roast, so I had to write new cards. and they gave me some jokes, but I'm not going to tell them. Because I consider you a friend and a colleague, and I want to leave it that way. But in all seriously, I think you all know that Dr. Lamen has had a very distinguished career. In fact, we met when we were both very, very young, and it started at UHS, and I've had the opportunity to see him in his family practice environment where we work side by side, and then take his career on to be a physician administrator in the medical group practice, and then evolve into a CEO, president of a hospital in rural health, and really where he could put his family practice values to work. A couple things that I think you all know about Dr. Lamen: avid reader. And if he's ever given you one of those books he's read, I commend it if you know what the book was about when you were done, because I remember a book that you gave to the board. It's something about the arrow change. Do you remember that book? It was a Christmas gift.
Yeah, Dr. Kostakis. It was about the pandemic, you know, what was going on in the past and what's going to happen in the future is a great, it was a really well-written book.
So it really goes to the type of thinker you are, a strategic thinker, an innovator, but he takes that strategy and innovation and translates it into something that's patient-centric. And what I really think, when you think about careers across the organization, the system, you've really distinguished yourself by taking those and transforming CMH into a medical neighborhood. And one that happened long before the other organizations were doing it, and I think it speaks to your forward thinking and also your passion for moving things forward. So from my perspective, to where you started with your roots to now, an incredible journey, one that leaves a legacy that's really something that I think you should be proud of. And I know this team is thrilled to be a part of it as well. So from me to you, I've enjoyed almost every minute of it. We've had a few moments, you guys. But we always in the end agree. And I think I've learned from you, and I appreciate all those life lessons. And congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Kay. Melissa, am I supposed to hand this to John?
Yeah, we're not ready for you yet, Drake. Hold on. Hold on. Thank you, Drake. Thanks, Kay. I'm John Carrig. Thank you all for being here today. It's really a pleasure to be here. And as we approach Dr. Lamen's final day serving as President and CEO of UHS Shenango Memorial Hospital, I'm pleased to join you here to celebrate his service to the hospital, but also his service to the community. We reflect with deep gratitude on Dr. Lamen's leadership of the institution over the past 18, 19 years. And we thank him first and foremost for his compassion towards patients. Most important. But also, and this is what I really want to talk about, we thank him for his vision and how we have implemented a future for UHS Shenango Memorial Hospital. Dr. Lamen's vision of reinventing Shenango Memorial Hospital has manifested itself in profound changes brought forward with the Shenango Medical Neighborhood Project. And this project is just so significant, Drake, for your legacy and your service to the hospital and to Shenango County and broadly. The transformation of the hospital through the Shenango Medical Neighborhood has made healthcare delivery in Norwich and Shenango County better. And the mission and strategic purpose of Shenango Memorial Hospital has been strengthened by your persistence, your perseverance, and your dedication to getting that project done. So thank you for that. This is where you would all applaud in the middle of my speech. Thank you for that. You know, when we think about someone's retirement, we think about, and I think about my own, down the road. We want to leave our institution and our community in better shape than where we found it. And it's been quite a journey for Dr. Lamen over these 18, 19 years. And when you set out to create a vision like the Shenango Medical Neighborhood, and you see that the institution and the community is better for that, that's very rewarding. And there is no doubt in anyone's mind that healthcare and the healthcare that we deliver at the hospital and the health of our community is better because of Dr. Lamen's dedication to that vision. So thank you very much, Drake.
Thank you, John. Next, I'd like to introduce Joe Stagliano to speak on behalf of our Board of Directors.
Thanks, Melissa. Hey, everyone. So I'm glad I didn't type out any prepared remarks because I think Kay and John hit it all. And there's three words that I think of when I think of Dr. Lamen: service, vision, and legacy. And those were the three things, as when Melissa asked me to speak at this event, I thought of when I thought of you. An incredible amount of service that you've done for the communities that you've served. As a doctor, as a leader, as a CEO, and being from Norwich, living here in Norwich, the impact that Dr. Lamen has had on the community is just incredible. So when you come to events like this, you think of all the words that you want to use to describe someone's career. I don't think words can really hit the tone that we want to hit in terms of what Dr. Lamen has done. For me, it's going to be every day I drive by CMH on Broad Street, and every night when I walk, my normal walk, by Gibson School and see that beautiful facility that's been built. And it's because of the great service that Dr. Lamen is really ingrained in him and what he's taught others. It's the vision he had to get a significant project done in a small rural hospital like we have here in Norwich. And it's his legacy. You know, when you leave a place, when you change jobs, when you retire, when you move on into something new, you want to leave a legacy. And Dr. Lamen has left something that will be here for many, many, many decades to come. And we can't thank you enough. On behalf of the Board of Directors, on behalf of the Norwich community, Dr. Lamen is also a member of the NBT Bank Advisory Board. On behalf of NBT Bank, thank you for all you've done. You've made our community better. Round of applause for Dr. Lamen. So I'm going to end with this. Here's the challenge to all of you. This man, this doctor, this CEO has built something. He's built a legacy. It's a challenge to all of you to keep making that legacy better. Keep him in your thoughts when you're building that next thing, doing that next project, servicing that next patient, because we don't want to let Dr. Lamen down. He's put his whole life into this. Congratulations, Dr. Lamen.
Thank you so much, Joe. And now to speak on behalf of the CMH senior staff, Chris Kasaki.
I'm going with the roast. Stand tall. That was them. I sat next to Dave and BJ, and bad things are happening. I'm up here to talk on behalf of the senior staff, but I feel very comfortable to say that I'm talking on behalf of the whole leadership team and all the employees at CMH, and I hope I don't cry. Melissa, that'll be your fault. Drake and I go way back. So we've got probably a good 25 years together, not as long as Kay or Dr. Mazurek, but we go way back. We came together on the same day, August 4th, 2004. The CMH that we came to looks nothing like the CMH of today, and that's because of you and because of all of you, your leadership. You've been a mentor, a friend, a coach. You've told me when enough is enough to stop, which has to happen periodically. So, right? And one of the things that we talked about with the Shenango Medical Neighborhood, particularly when we started our capital campaign, was that if you were involved in the capital campaign, you were going to leave your fingerprints on healthcare in Shenango County for the next generation. You, my friend, have left your fingerprints on every one of us. You've imprinted in our hearts and in our minds. And Joe, we will not forget the lessons. Listen, plan and execute. If you don't execute, it doesn't mean anything. Am I good? Is that one of our good lessons? So on behalf of senior staff and all of my lovely colleagues on leadership, thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything. So congratulations.
That was beautiful, Chris. And now to try to top that, Dr. Thomas Janice talking on behalf of the medical staff.
Thank you very much. No pressure. Appreciate that. So as Melissa said, I'm Thomas Janice, and I've been with UHS back up a little bit. I found out about 5 minutes ago I was doing this. So just FYI. Don't have anything printed, don't have anything typed, so this is going to be from the hip. And I appreciate Gary and everybody filming this, just to preserve my legacy of idiocy. In any event, I've been with UHS about 10 years. And I've been with CMH about 1.5 years. Now, my 1-year anniversary, Chris and Dave and others forgot that, but in any event, I've been here for 1.5 years. And I came here for 2 reasons. One was professional development. Fine, okay. The other reason was this gentleman. I came here to learn from him. There are very few people who I consider mentors, leaders that I can learn from, and this is one of them. I came here for him. And I've learned from him. And even today, I learned from him because I made a mistake and he fixed it. In any event, enough of that. So, a couple of months ago, we had our medical staff meeting, our quarterly medical staff meeting here at CMH. And I had planned to give Dr. Lamen a nice little gift. And it arrived about 3 months late. So I have it for him today. So this is a gift from the CMH medical staff, and I hope everybody can see it, that says, from the medical staff, in sincere recognition of Dr. Drake Lamen for his years of dedicated service to Shenango Memorial Hospital. For you. The picture on there is what, about 20 years old? So, whoops. The last thing I'll say, I promise, is that there are 2 copies of this. No, I paid for 2. So, I'll be paying for 2 for the next 3 years. Anyway, no, how expensive plaques are, don't be laughing, this is true. Anyway, so one will go to Dr. Lamen, of course, the other one will go in the chaplain room. And we'll find a place for it. It'll be, a nice spot for him, for a nice legacy for Dr. Lamen. So thank you for the opportunity, and thank you, Dr. Lamen. You're welcome.
A brief pause for a photo op. Thank you so much, Dr. Janice. And now, a few words from our guest of honor.
Oh, you want me to say something? Just a few, okay. Whew. Well, thank you, everybody. All those kind words. Some of them are true. And I think, yeah, there's so many things we could say, and I think the first thing to say is that everything that has happened while I've been at CMH is because of all of us together. That nobody does, and I think I've said this several times to many of you, nobody can do this alone. Nobody can do any of this alone. And that every single day we find a way to work together to get done whatever needs to get done. And the opportunity for us to actually do something special together is one of those blessings that we were able to take advantage of some opportunities that with good effort and good anticipation and good work together, we were able to put together some plans that made sense to the health department. And I would just share with you that we put an application in for what was called the Essential Healthcare Grant back in 2015, 2016, I think it was. And we did not get awarded that grant, something like a $25 million grant. And we thought that we put in a plan that made sense for us. But when we didn't get it, I was at a meeting with the Iroquois Healthcare Association, which is the CEOs in the upstate region. And there's a general practice by that group. It's a great group for CEOs, and we want to make sure that CESU gets connected with Iroquois. But the health department representatives, there's a good working relationships. I think that one of the things that several people taught me over the years is that it really is important to develop a good working relationship with the health department. And that family docs, I was in practice for 25 years in Windsor and Deposit before I came here, and that's where Kay and I worked together for a good many years. And I was on the New York State Academy of Family Physicians, and New York State Academy family physicians see ourselves as the patient advocate. And that has always been the case. It's still the case for me, and I think John referenced the importance of, the guiding light is our patients. And that when the New York State Academy had its Congress of Delegates, I participated in that early in my career. I was the actual board chairman for the New York State Academy back in 1993. And that what we did in our resolutions was to basically put resolutions in place to lobby and advocate with the legislators and others in the department about how we could make healthcare better, not how we could get paid more. There are some organizations, professional organizations, that when they lobby, it's all about our rates of payment. Now, clearly it's important what we get paid for what we do, but that's not the point here. So the question as a physician, as a family physician, was what can we do to make healthcare better, and how can we lobby to get the legislature to pass laws that do make a difference in a positive way. So that's an example, another example of how do you develop a positive relationship with the health department so that when they want information about what matters, in healthcare and how can we make it better. There are people in the health department, truly committed professionals that want nothing better than good patient care. But sometimes they need information, and that the Academy of Family Physicians and Iroquois, and I think Haney's, have positioned ourselves to be advisors to members of the health department. So that when we have a meeting and we ask them to come and we ask them to share information with us, they're also looking for us to share information with them. So Dan Shepard was one of the administrators in the health department that was in charge of primary care, was in charge of these grants. And I asked him, to the point, Joe and you and I were talking about asking questions. And I said, well, we are a small community hospital. We don't have a lot of money. We work hard to be able to pay our people well and do good care. And the rates that we get for what we do sometimes just don't seem like it's enough on a plan. We don't want an idea. We don't want a concept. We don't want to hear about something that's nice to do. We want a plan. So that really was very, very helpful to me when we came back and we basically said, okay, the next grant, we want to get that grant. We want that award. And so he's already told us what he wants, that these are transformation grants, that this is transformation healthcare grants, and that he wants a plan to see how we put that together as a group. It wasn't me all alone. We would basically, I'm the guy that poses the questions, right? I pose questions, what do we have to do to provide good patient care? What do we have to do to transform care? If we're going to change the way healthcare is delivered in Shenango County, what's it going to look like when we get there? And then if that's what we want it to look like, what do we have to do to make it happen? And so we did write the Shenango Medical Neighborhood Transformation Plan, and we had 3 phases identified, and we said, well, yeah, we want a grant for phase 1. And here's what we want to do in phase 1 to build new emergency room and so on. And then when they put out more grants, we said, okay, we want to do phase 2, which now everybody's really busy doing phase 2. So I see that as an example of multiple level partnerships. And one of the most important partnerships that we have is with the health department. There's lots of different pieces to the health department. And that, for us to maintain, and Shirley Calleja was a huge mentor for me and all of us on the team at the time to basically show us that we have to be credible. We have to be honest. We have to do good work. We have to do everything we can that our policies comply with rules and regulations across healthcare expectations, and that when we make every honest effort to do that, it's recognized. The members, the people in the health department that we work with, and they come in and they survey us. They come in for an audit. They see what they say. You know what they always say: show me your policies. And then show me that you follow your policies. And so on and on and on. So the idea that we have been able to transform healthcare in Shenango County and Shenango Memorial, really relates to some clear guidance, some good partnerships, wonderful partnerships here. Hi, Wendy. Didn't see you come in. We have a great team we put together. I think the thing that I find most rewarding in this career is working with all of you. That for me, from the time I was a Boy Scout and patrol leader, senior patrol leader, it was always about teaching the tenderfeet, the second class, the first class people their skills so that we could go on camp out trips and their tent will stay up and they don't pull my tent down in the middle of the night saying, hey, my tent fell down. Working with all of you to basically develop teams that can get things done basically relies on all of you being good at what you do, being good at being a good team member, being good at helping each other. And I would just want to advocate that maybe one of the last things I want to share and to Joe's charge to move forward. And one of the things that I think we do together, that we've done since I've been the CEO, is that we do our leadership planning conferences each and every summer. Now, we've taken a pause. I think the team is being respectful and planning very well for this year to be a little bit later in the year. So it's a big change for all of you to us not to have, and I made a comment once, so I have to make sure I circle back on this. I said, for so long as I see a future for Shenango Memorial Hospital, we will have a leadership planning conference. So the fact that we didn't have one this summer yet does not mean that I don't see a future. So that's not why it's going to change. But what we want to do is make sure our new CEO, Cecil Miller, has a chance to get on board and that the team can work together and basically organize to do what we have to do. Every single year that we do a leadership planning conference, it's basically looking, what do we have to do to be good for next year? What do we have to be, what do we have to learn? What do we have to learn to do? What do we have to plan? It's always next year and the year after that we have to be anticipating is what do we got to be ready for? Because whatever we're doing this year is for this year, and this year is not the same as last year, and next year will not be the same as this year or any other past year. We have to be able, so when you think about these things that Joe mentioned, we have to be looking at each of you in each of your own areas, have an idea of where things are going, and we need to keep learning, and that as we do planning, we need to get together. One of the things for our leadership planning conference was basically three things. One, team building. Two, learning. Three, planning. And the team building, I want you to really understand that we would not be the team, you would not be the team that we are today if we didn't spend some time together as people and get to know each other, because I think you all know it, you've all lived it, you've all realized benefit from everybody on this team knowing each other. You know, it's the fact that we're as small as we are, it makes it a little bit more possible than if we're huge. It makes it a little bit more difficult, may not be possible, but I think that those, there's probably more than one way to do that. I think that the White Eagle has changed. So the White Eagle may not be the place in the future, but the opportunities and the time spent and the things you do together need to be similar. The team building, the learning, and the planning, is really what helps us together identify what's the future going to be looking like and what do we got to do to be ready and be good at it. We can't, I think there's a book out there, I don't remember the name of it, but it's by NYU Langhorne. I think that's the right, it's called something about world class, I think it might be called. But it tells a story about NYU being in a rough spot and the CEO at the time basically saying, forget this incremental stuff. We need to think of ourselves as a world-class organization. And we need to understand it, and we need to do whatever it takes to get there. And the story is how they actually accomplished that. So, there's no reason why we can't think of ourselves as world-class, even though small community. It doesn't mean our care has to be anything less. And so with that would be my charge. That would be my guidance. That would be my request and hope that, and I know that this is a leadership team that will not hesitate to take all those steps, keep a good team going. We got the best team ever, and we can't assume that it will stay that way without some effort. So, and I know we're doing all the right things. So with that, I want to thank everybody once again for the opportunity for me, the pleasure to work with all of you and together to do what we've been able to do here. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lamen. This has been a wonderful evening, and it's not over yet, of course. Please stay, have some more food. There'll actually be some music starting around 5:30 for those of you that want to hang out. Thank you so much to our friends here at Hidden Springs and Canastawacta Country Club for their wonderful catering, and Dr. Lamen for giving us this opportunity to celebrate you.